What is going on, my friends? Today we got something special for you. So if you don't know who I am by now, and that's fine because not a lot of people do. My name is Nathan Payne. I've been in the real estate industry for 6 years, and my goal is to help people do more deals. And I've done hundreds of deals, millions of dollars in transactions. And again, my goal is to help you do more deals. That's why I'm doing this. Okay. And I know if I help you do more deals, we can do deals together. That's just how it works, right? I help you, you help, we work together. Nathan, who the heck are you, bro?
Yeah, guys, my name's Nathan Valley. Done a bunch of deals, bunch of different states. And yeah, the reason why we do this is there's a lot of people really struggling to get into wholesaling, and we don't want you to be one of them. So, and yeah, guys, when you get to a certain point, we'd love to help you with the deal. So, and on the flip side, guys, we've got deals all the time to where we're looking for people to help us. So it goes both ways.
It does 100%. Now, guys, our plan for today is to talk about how you can make money in wholesaling real estate. Again, if you're watching this, the goal is to show you how to make money in real estate, wholesaling real estate. And how are we going to do that today? What's the plan? We're going to talk to you guys about the top questions to qualify as seller. Okay. Look, there's a lot of you out there that are engaging. You're trying to get leads. You're trying to identify opportunities, but you got to know the top questions to ask them. So, you're not wasting your time. Because I'm telling you guys right now, you can waste a lot of time. I wasted my time with a seller for a year. I was talking to a grandma for a year, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I think I want to sell." Like, it took me forever, and eventually, what happened is her daughter caught her talking to me on the phone. Was like, "Don't you ever talk to my grandma again, you piece of trash." And I was like, "Wow, I probably should have asked her if she had anyone else that was going to be a decision maker, but I didn't." We're going to talk about the right questions asked, so you don't spend a year following up with old granny who you probably shouldn't be talking to, right? I didn't know. I was brand new. Okay. I wasn't trying to do anything crazy, but that's our plan. We're going to show you guys the top qualifying questions to ask and what you should be doing to make more money wholesaling real estate. Nate, what's our promise? What are we going to try and promise? What's our promise every time we get on the call?
Are we making calls today?
That's the goal. That's our promise, is if you guys are watching,
Love
we
it.
want to show you guys put this into action. So we're going to go through this quick, and I'm going to make some calls to some sellers, show you guys put this stuff into action. Okay. And, unless you guys are swarming us with questions and we don't have time, but, we'll see. And this is live. So if you're watching this live, let us know where you're watching from. We love to connect and help you guys out. That's our goal. All right, Nathan Valley. So let's just hop right into it. You're talking to sellers. You want to make money in real estate. You find some opportunities. You find some people that say, "Yeah, I've been thinking about selling." What are you going to ask them?
Yeah, guys. So great. Where do we start? And the reason why, just real quick, why we are starting here, why we are talking about this, and we are going to talk about this a lot, is because this is so critical. This is the first place to start. There's a lot of ways to get started with wholesaling, but whether, you're looking to find a deal yourself, or if you're trying to do reverse wholesaling and, I'm going to find the buyers first. The reality is if you're looking to talk to buyers, nobody's interested in chatting with you if you have nothing to bring to the table, right? True fact. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, reverse wholesaling." Like, it makes sense in theory, but call a couple buyers and just say, "Hey, what's your buy criteria? Let me know how that goes." Right? Because I've done it a bunch.
They're going to say, "Hey, get lost. Find me a deal, we'll talk."
Right. But at the same time, we also don't want to be locking up deals if we don't already have a buyer lined up for it. So there's kind of a catch-22. There is a way to make it work. But what we're going to get into today is, first and foremost, step number one is we need to find opportunities, right? Not just find opportunities, but qualify those opportunities. So that's what we're going over today is, Nate, I found a human being that owns a property. They said they are interested in selling. What do I do? So now's where we want to qualify/disqualify. And number one, first part of that question is I'm going to ask them. Now, in this conversation, I'm going to be asking, "Hey, tell me a little bit about the property." As they're talking to me about the property, this is where I'm going to sprinkle in these questions, right? Every single seller I talk to, I am always asking these questions. Question number one. Hey, did you have a point you were going to make?
No, I love it. I'm just saying, go ahead. Give me that number one point, dude.
So question number one. So, "Hey, Mr. Seller, okay, got it. Needs a new roof, this, that about the house. Okay, cool. Hey, let me ask you, have you thought about maybe just listing the property with an agent and sort of going that route?" Simple question. Have you thought about listing it with an agent? Right? And guys, as you'll see, the questions we're asking, we're really just presenting all the other scenarios, right? Like, what are their other options? That's what we're going through. So, option number one, have you thought about listing it with an agent? And guys, do not be afraid to ask this question. I promise you, you're not introducing anything new that they haven't already thought of, right? You're not going to scare them away. They're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that. Like, yeah, click. I gotta go call an agent. Bye. Right now, it happens. So, question number one: have you thought about listing it with an agent? Right. And if they say yes, then I'm gonna ask one question more. Usually, they'll say yes, and here's the why we don't want to work with an agent. But if they just say yeah, we've thought about it. Okay, got it. Well, what's kind of held you back from just moving forward with that? Ask the question, right? We want to know the why behind every one of these questions. We don't want to just ask the question. We want to ask the question and then understand why that is not the option for them, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand the why. I'm going to keep asking until I uncover and understand why they are not interested in that option.
So let me give you a scenario where this happens a lot. That people are like, no, I do not want to list with a real estate agent. I don't want to pay any fees. I don't want to pay an agent any fees. I want to make as much money as possible. That happens a lot too, right? They're like, I'm just trying. And we faced that with the seller we were talking to the other day. They sounded like they're motivated, but they didn't really want to pay any fees because they wanted top dollar, right? That was like their motivation. They would just want as much as they could get. So what would 100%. You say to that? What would you say to that? Like, they don't want to list with an agent, Nate, but they also don't because they don't want to pay any fees.
Right. And I say, okay, got it. No, that makes perfect sense. Well, question number two is, hey, well, let me ask you, have you thought about maybe just fixing up the property yourself and then selling it? Right. Have you thought about fixing it up yourself? Have you thought about doing the repairs yourself? Right. And what we're doing is, when they are saying no to each one of these options, they are telling you why you are the best solution for them. Because ultimately what we're doing, guys, the whole goal, we are not calling like sales and negotiating. It is not like I'm this master at sales and negotiation and I can convince anybody with my mind tricks to sell me their house at pennies on the dollar. No, it doesn't work that way. Right? I don't care how good you are at sales and negotiating. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are definitely better than others, right? There are levels to the game. But one thing I can promise you is you cannot convince anybody to do something they don't want to do. They have to make that decision, right? So what we're doing is we are looking for the right people to work with. And we have a conversation right now, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult to tell, which is why we have these in-depth conversations. And that's what separates people that are not that great at sales and people that are master at sales and negotiations, right? It's being able to kind of pick through and uncover all the information, because there's a lot of people that are in the middle where it's like, I can't tell. Like, is this somebody I can help? Is it not? Right? And that's what we're doing here. So have you thought about listing it with an agent? Have you thought about fixing it up yourself? And then question number three, right? And kind of, this is sort of goes in between. A lot of times they'll sort of answer this, but you had mentioned, oh, I don't want to list it with an agent because of the fees. A simple follow-up question is just like, oh, okay, have you thought about, just sort of listing it yourself for sale by owner?
Right.
All right, guys, every possible option you can think of, we're going to bring it up and we're going to ask them why. Because the other thing, again, not only are you going to know why you're the perfect fit for them, but they are walking themselves down this path. They are walking themselves down this path of selling themselves on you and why they should work with you and why you're the right thing.
Another great thing about this is the fact that they'll stop you here, one or two, and they'll just be like, look, I know I want to sell for cash. I've already had this conversation. I've decided I want this because of this. They'll just give it to you, right? You might not even have to ask all these questions, but asking these questions identifies, it's like a funnel, everybody. Let me draw something. So you got a funnel here. When you do lead gen, right, you're getting all these people, right, at the top of the funnel. You are making money, and you're gonna make money off of these people, right? But the people at the top of the funnel, that a lot of the time at the top of the funnel, they want retail. Guys, we can't really give them retail or help them get retail unless there's a solution, there's a problem. Even innovation, people, when you do innovations and you get people retail or a higher price, there's some problem they have, or else they wouldn't be talking to you. They would just list it with their Aunt Janice or their friend, right? They would just do it quickly. But your goal is to get these questions that you're asking are filtering people in the funnel and getting these little, and you're having less opportunities. So you see how many balls we got here? There's thousands and thousands of balls. We want to filter people so there's a couple balls. That's how you make money in real estate. And this is not just in real estate. This is in business in general. If you can't filter to find the right opportunity, to qualify the right opportunity, you're going to waste your time. And that's why, Nathan, I think there's people that have been wholesaling in real estate investing, haven't done a deal for years, 2-3 years, because they're not focusing on the people, the client they can actually help, and that makes them money.
Right. And just to kind of make the point even further, you guys already do this to a degree. You already implement a funnel without realizing it, right? So if you're looking to wholesale, right, we're talking about a funnel within the conversation, like how to filter further. But if you were to look at houses for sale, you probably wouldn't just walk outside and go to your neighbors and start pitching them, right? Hey, can I buy your house? No, you'd probably have some type of filter of, oh, well, let me look for something in this price range, or let me look for something that has at least 3 bedrooms, or let me look for something that has some repairs, right? So you're already implementing a funnel to a degree, right? Now, again, it's another piece of that funnel to filter through. So, and this is closer to the bottom of that funnel, right? When we're having these in-depth conversations with sellers, people that said, yes, I'm interested in selling my home. So we've got, have you thought about listing it with an agent? Have you thought about fixing it up yourself? Right? And then question number 3, this is one of my favorites to ask because they don't even let you finish asking it. Have you, Mr. and Ms. Seller, hey, let me ask you, have you thought about maybe just renting it out and sort of going that route? Most of the time when you ask a seller, right, more often than not, when you say, hey, have you thought about renting it out? They will cut you off. As soon as they hear the word rent, hey, have you thought about rent? Oh my God, no, we don't want to rent it. No, oh my gosh, we don't want to deal with tenants and toilets and all that nonsense. My buddy had a tenant. He had to kick them out and they wrecked the place and blah, blah, right? And they'll go on like a 20-minute rant as to why they would rather do anything than rent it. Right? Not always the case, but guys, more often than not, you'll find that's the response you get, which is perfect, right? It's exactly what you're looking for. Another box check.
And it's very important to ask this too, because if they're like, nah, if I don't sell it, I'm just going to keep it because I don't need to sell, right? Then you understand, again, when you look at the funnel, is it someone that we're looking with that's motivated? If they're like, nah, if I don't sell it, I'm going to keep it. I don't need to rent it. I can just stay here forever. It's like, okay, well, that's not motivated, right? That's not who I'm looking for. If they're like, I don't need to sell, I'm just looking for top dollar. Okay, that's not who you can work with.
And then question number 4, this is kind of it's kind of optional. And the reason why I say it's kind of optional is you got to use a little bit of emotional intelligence on whether you should or shouldn't ask this question. And question number 4 is, right, if they don't want to list it with an agent, if they don't want to fix it up themselves and sell it, if they don't want to rent it, what's the last option, right? Or the last option other than working with you. The last other option is, well, hey, Mr. Seller, let me ask you, are you able to just stay here? Is that something you've considered? Just kind of staying and sticking around at this place a bit longer? Right? We want to ask them, hey, is just staying an option? Right? And that may seem kind of a silly question, but it depends on the conversation. And again, if you're asking, well, Nate, why would I ask that question? They just said yes, I'm interested in a cash offer. Again, guys, we're getting them to tell us why they need to sell the house through us, why we're the best fit for them, why we are the best option. This is an option for them, just staying there. And also, the ultimate goal, the number one thing we're trying to do is we're not trying to sell anybody. We're just trying to uncover all the information in this situation so that we can see all the cards that are on the table, right? And then we can just put the perfect solution together for that specific person and hand it to them on a silver platter.
Right.
And if all the cards are up on the table and you're like, oh, wait, now that I see all these cards, like, yeah, they're not really interested in what I'm able to offer them. And what they have over there actually looks like a better option for them. Well, then, guys, you don't force the offer on them.
Right.
Right. We're not shoving cash offers down people's throats. Nobody likes that. So,
yeah, and not even cash, like creative innovation, like there has to be some sort of motivation for you guys to be able to do a deal with somebody. And I can promise you guys that if you ask these 4 questions to any off market, and then we're talking off market, if it's listed, this is a different conversation, obviously. But if this is an on, did I say off market? If it's on market, if it's listed, this is a different conversation. But this, if you ask these 4 questions to anyone that's off market, you will know at the end of this if you have an opportunity worth working. This is really all I ask. I just say, hey, do you have a couple minutes I could ask you some questions about the property? Is now a good time? Yes, it is. Okay, great. I'm just going to ask you a couple questions. Can you tell me a little bit about the property? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, great. Bam. Then I hit these, right? I just say, tell me a little bit about the property to get the conversation flowing, just so they start talking a little bit. But
and for that last,
get it.
And for that last question, hey, Mr. and Ms. Seller, have you thought about maybe just staying here? Remember, I said it was optional. And the reason why I said it was optional is because we don't want to ask this question if through the conversation we've already had with them, if they have made it obvious that this is not an option for them, or if this is not an option they are remotely interested in. For example, if you're talking with the seller and through the first couple, questions or with chatting with them, they're telling you things like, yeah, we need to sell the house. We're trying to sell it as fast as possible. We've already moved. We've moved into a new place. We've moved all of our stuff. We're really worried about people, squatters getting into the house or this or that, or we can't afford 2 places. We're trying to sell this quick. I'm not going to ask them, hey, have you thought about maybe just staying at the place? They would just look at me and be like, are you stupid? Right? No, we don't want to sell this thing for stupid. Right? So again, this is where the emotional intelligence comes into play. Like we have to listen, because if I were to ask that question when they've obviously demonstrated that this is not an option for them, the way the seller is going to see that is this person isn't listening to me. They don't actually care about me. This person's just trying to make money off me. And that's not what we're trying to get across here. Because guys, one last point. The number one rule of all of this, guys, if you forget all these questions, if you go to call a seller right now, as soon as you're done watching this video, if you call a seller and if you just remember this one rule, just this one rule, I promise you, you will significantly increase how much progress you make right after this video. And that number one rule is genuinely care more about the other person's outcome than they do. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Genuinely care more about the other person's outcome than they do. And guys, I get it. We want to make money, right? I don't get into wholesaling because I wanted to do volunteer work, right? I understand. Yes, we want to make money. Yes, this is a business. But guys, when you go into the conversation, when you genuinely go into that frame of mindset of I'm genuinely just going to care about this person, one, you're going to find you're going to be able to be significantly more effective. And 2, the seller is going to be able to pick up on that. And they're going to see that you actually care and they're going to want to work with you. And number 3, right? Sometimes people are nervous. They're like, oh, I'm not that great at sales. I'm nervous with calling people. Guys, when it's not about you, it takes all that pressure, right? Yeah. For example, I was swinging a hammer or building a house. Oh my gosh, I absolutely suck. I worked construction for 2 summers. Oh my gosh, it was basically charity work. I feel so bad. They're a great family. But anyways, right? And oh my gosh, it was like nerve-wracking because I was so bad at it. But if I were to go on a volunteer trip to Haiti and help build houses for free, there would be no pressure, right? Because it's not about me. I'm not getting paid. There's not a certain I'm just there to help, right? So go with that same mindset into your calls when you're talking with the seller. Hey, I'm just here to help. And guys, be real about it too. If you ask all of these questions and you uncover all of the pieces, and if there genuinely is another option that is significantly better for them, I will point them in that direction. And here's the funny thing. If they're not interested in that direction, which does happen a good number of times, they want to work with you even more because people want to do business with people they know, they like, and they trust.
All right, Nate, I love it, man. And I think that's so true. So selling your home is emotional, guys. It's emotional for a lot of people. And this is an emotional process. We're taking them through a sales process that helps identify what they want, their emotions. And if you just go in there and you're just all tactical and not tactical, but you're just like, hey, let me just offer them a low offer, which works for me. That's not a win-win scenario, right? You just care about what you want, right? You're not trying to connect with them and help them win. That's a win-win scenario. It's like a term that's used a lot in sales training. You want everyone to win, everyone to feel like no one feels good if you won and they lost, right? So you want them to feel good. And these questions help you identify that, right? It helps you get on that same page. So this is why it's important. It might take some time, right? You might rather say, hey, I'm just going to make offers. That's why when you just send out low offers, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for anybody. Everybody that tries just send out as mass offers. No, it's not going to work. You have to talk to sellers. And that's why, like, I always think there's going to be a place for wholesalers, for investors, because we're going to hop on that phone. We're going to talk to you about what's going on. Okay. And remember, guys, these questions, I can promise you, if you ask these questions, you're going to be able to identify opportunities. And what's this call about? It's about how to make money wholesaling real estate. This is it. This is it. If you can just identify opportunities and get those people, whether you know or not, you know how to close them, dispo them. If you can find opportunities, you've made money because you can get it to someone, you can JV with someone, you can find buyers. Like, this is where the money's made. Okay. It's literally the funnel. Okay. Like I showed you guys in the beginning. If you get people past here and they're like, hey, yeah, no, I do want to sell for cash because I want to sell quick. I don't want to mess around with listing it. I don't have the time. You found the tiny opportunities. These are just opportunity balls that are going down into your funnel of who you can work with. But at the top of the funnel, again, there's just people that want to sell. There's just people that have houses, right? There's just a ton of them. And you want to get them through that funnel through these questions. Okay. So I'm hoping you guys understand what we're teaching you. This is the moneymaker. Nate, would you say like this is probably one of the most important skills in making money as a wholesaler or as a real estate investor?
Well, guys, I mean, I would say just think and answer the question for yourself. If I don't have an opportunity in real estate, in wholesaling, think of any person I can talk to. If I don't have an opportunity, a qualified lead, what am I able to bring to the table? If I'm talking to a buyer, he wants to do deals, right? If I'm talking to him and I don't have a lead, like there's nothing I'm bringing of value to that conversation. He's not interested in chatting with me unless I have opportunities, or I'm talking to him about how I have, will have opportunities. Title company, same thing. They make money off of closed transactions. If I don't have opportunities, there's no point in even chatting with them. I've got no value to bring to that conversation, right? Whether it's a real estate, whoever, right? All of these scenarios, I need a qualified opportunity. And there's no easier place to start. And guys, it's the easiest place to start, right? Find somebody that's considering selling and you're having a simple conversation and you're only interested in chatting with the people that are the absolute perfect fit for you. And if not, you say thank you or help point them in the right direction.
Yeah, Nate, I want to say something to that Basically, I agree with you 100%. And the thing is, everybody is like, we used to just teach people like the painless flipping method is basically having a deal sold before you even have to get under contract, because we had buyers, we had everything. And we taught people really well, like how to go find buyers, right? So they got good at that. They got good at talking to title companies. But the one thing that they weren't really focusing on was the opportunity. So they were getting relationships, but they weren't able to bring it to like the opportunity to them. So they, honestly, it's a waste of time to go find buyers if you're not good at having the right conversation or identifying opportunities. It's a waste of time having, an LLC. It's a waste of, everything is a waste of time if you aren't good at identifying what's going to make you money. So stop everything now. Stop building a website. Stop doing all this stuff, build business cards or whatever. This is the top thing that's going to help you make money in real estate. And that's where I started. I started learning this, right? Actually, when I first started, I tried to do everything, and it was a complete waste of time because you can't learn everything at once. This is the moneymaker, hands down. I would say whether you're prospecting and trying to find those people and then you have this conversation, or you can pay for the lead and you already have the lead coming in. But this is, and I would say all of you out there that maybe are new, I'd say you're losing out on opportunities because you haven't mastered this skill. This is a skill set that you can master through practice. But this is the moneymaker. You find the opportunity, you make more money.
And one thing I just wanted to add with the missing opportunities, because a lot of times, we'll hear people say, "Oh, where are the deals? Like, I can't find deals. How do I find deals? Where are deals?" I promise you, you are missing deals every single day, every single week, right? And I used to think the same thing early on in my career. I was like, "Oh man, like, where are people getting all these deals? Like, why can't I find any deals?" Well, I wasn't having the right conversation. And one thing I want to point out, pro tip, in the very beginning of this conversation, hey, have you ever thought about selling that property? Oh yeah, I'd consider an offer. Got it. Let me ask you, if you were to sell it and for a cash offer, did you have an idea as to what you'd want for it? Oh, I want $500,000 for my house, right? And like, oh my gosh, I'd maybe be able to pay like 200, 250. Rather than just saying, ooh, 500. Yeah, I'm probably like, I won't be able to get close to that with a cash offer. Rather than saying anything, you just acknowledge it and say, okay, got it. Tell me a little bit about the property. Just table it and go through this conversation, because guys, I cannot tell you how many times when you ask somebody, hey, what price do you want from the home? Or what's the lowest you'll take? I don't recommend that as your first question. Hey, what's the lowest you'll take?
Yeah, they're like,
hey, what's the most amount of money I can make off you? Right? I don't want to say that in the first 2 minutes of meeting somebody. No. So, hey, what do you want for the home? They don't know us. We haven't built any rapport. They don't know us. They don't like us. They don't trust us yet. Right? So when we ask, hey, what price? Did you have an idea as to what kind of price you wanted for the home? They still have their guard up, right? And so whatever price they throw out,
they would be dumb if they didn't tell you the most they can get. Like who starts a negotiation by going low, right? They're always going to go high, despite that being what they're willing to take. We know because we're doing a deal right now where they originally wanted $850 and they took about $200,000 less.
Yeah. So, and guys, that happens all the time. I mean, 200,000. That's. But I mean, guys, like 100,000, even 150,000, like you'll be surprised how often that actually happens on market and off market. I've seen it with direct to seller and with real estate agents with listed properties, right? So you will be surprised. So when they say they want, oh, I want this ridiculous price for the home, just put it up on the side, right? Just table it, go through these questions, right? Uncover all the information, see what's really going on. And then if they check all of these boxes, then you can re-ask the question, when it comes to money, right? Now, there's ways we can do it. That's another conversation for another day. But the number, just ignore the price. Ignore the price that they give in the beginning, because that number can drastically change from what they tell you in the first 2 minutes in the conversation to 30, 40 minutes later, after we built rapport and created a relationship with somebody.
Yeah. real quick, just so everybody knows, usually where that price usually is just in the money spot is if they've talked to like 5 or 6 other investors who have lowballed them already, and you just come in at the right time. And it happens sometimes. I've done deals where they're like, look, I've already gotten offers at 150, 140, 120, 130. I'm just looking to get 155. If you can do that, it's yours. And then you're like, that works. And then you just freaking lock it up. But if that's your negotiation strategy, if that's how your sales process is, like, you're going to get one deal a year, maybe, it depends how many opportunities you're looking at, but that's not how you should navigate all your deals. So anyway, Nate, I have a call that I did. It's recorded, and because I know if we hop on calls right now, we might get someone, we might not. So I have a call that I took someone not exactly through this process. I'm not going to lie, guys. It doesn't always go like this, where you're like, all right, question 1, bam, bam, bam. Because they might just elaborate and be like, look, I've talked to a lot of people. I don't want to list that. I don't want to do any of this. And then they just cuts the conversation down. And I have a conversation right here that it seemed like she was motivated. Okay. But then I asked the right questions and I found out immediately. Well, not immediately. It was a 10-minute call. If you guys want it, I'm going to show you guys the call. She wasn't motivated. She was finally, she was like, look, if I don't get this number, I ain't selling it. And it's like, okay, well, that number you want is way more than it's worth. Right. So, and then you dive in deeper and you find out there's just there's no pain, right? It's just like, hey, I want to sell this. So I'm going to share that with you, Nate. I know you got to go to dinner. You got the family. I'm going to share my screen. You can stick around if you want, bro. But I think you did a good job. Do you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say, guys, so watch, listen to the call. Again, this is where you got to be a little fluid when it comes to these conversations, right? You learn the questions, learn the script, right? It's going to sound and feel robotic in the beginning, but practice it and learn it until it becomes, non-robotic, right? The analogy, the example that people use over and over and over again is actors, right? Hollywood, movies. They all go off of a script. But when we watch the movie, it's like, wow, man, that looks so real. No, it's because they went over the lines probably hundreds of times, right? And they did it so many times to where they could really embody it and it comes out really genuine and real. Same thing with your script on sales and negotiating. So, but again, guys, stick around, listen to what these conversations here sound like in real time, and I will see you guys next time.
Peace out, brother. Hey, guys, I'm going to show you this call that I made. And one thing I want to say to everybody here is like, look, being born a good salesman, like that's not, maybe some people are better at having conversations than others, but that's not something that's like true, guys. Like, get that out of your head. If you're like, oh, I'm just not good at talking to people, like, it's a skill set. You have to practice. Like when I started doing jujitsu, I sucked. I still suck compared to if I go against a master or like a black belt or someone who's way better than me. It takes practice. Okay. So I want to show you guys this call. And again, thanks to Batch Leads. This call is brought to you guys by Batch Leads. If you guys don't have leads to call, they got your back. Okay. And you can DM me if you want my link. It's like a 7-day free trial. It's whatever. If you guys want that, or you can just go to the website. It's up to you. But basically my goal is to help you guys filter those opportunities so you can get more deals, make more money. That's why we're here and if you're not having the right conversations, you're wasting a lot of time like I did. Okay. But like, listen to this conversation I had right here and tell me if you guys think I did good. And if you think I sucked, I want to hear that too. I want to know what you guys think. So let me share my screen really quick. Let's see. And if you're watching this live, throw some questions in there. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm not here to say like I'm the greatest negotiator of all time, but I do like to get some feedback. So let's hear let's hear this call.
What's up, everybody? Let's get to the point. I'm here to make a call, see if I can negotiate a deal with a seller. This is a pay-per-click lead. Let's go for it. My name's Nathan Payne. Let's do it. All right. So this lead is from Ohio. If you are from Euclid, Ohio, shout out to you. This is where the deal is at. Maybe if you watch this, we can do it together. Maybe you can buy it. Let's see how it goes. Call her. I'm already expecting to call her 3 times because that's just what happens sometimes. But let's see if Laverne Dawson Moore answers. I like that name, Laverne. It's a good name.
Hello.
Hi, I'm looking for Laverne.
Speaking.
Hi, Laverne. How you doing? My name's Nathan, and I got your information. You had filled out some information about wanting to sell your property, and I think you had talked to one of our salespeople in the past, but I was just calling to follow up and see if the property's still for sale.
It is.
Okay. Laverne, is it Laverne or is it Dawson? I know there's two different names on the form.
Well, Laverne is my first name.
Okay.
Dawson Moore is my last name.
Okay. Dawson Moore is your last name. Is that right? Okay.
Correct.
Well, I just wanted to, before I get into it, I wanted to see if you had 5 or 10 minutes so I could ask you some questions about the property.
Sure.
Okay. So I was kind of reviewing a little bit of the notes, but I'd like to just go ask them again just to make sure I didn't miss anything. But it looks like you're wanting to sell the property. You're thinking about, I think you were saying about going somewhere into Vegas, I think, for with your husband. Is that right?
Well, yeah, but
That's later down the line, right?
exactly.
Okay. Well, do you kind of want to fill me in? I did read a little bit through what the last conversation, but do you mind telling me what's going on?
Well, I want to sell the property for $127,000.
Okay, 127,000. That's your asking price at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't done too much research into the values of the properties. We're cash buyers, and I'm assuming you've talked to a couple cash buyers up to this point. Have you gotten any other offers from anyone else, so I don't just come in and make you an offer that you completely will not even accept?
Right. Well, I got one for 122.
Okay.
And I got today. I was speaking with some gentleman, and I didn't even let him finish because talk about a low ball.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What did he make an offer or no?
I didn't know because
Okay.
I told him if he hadn't even gotten it to 100,000, let's not talk.
Of course.
It's all for both of us.
Yeah. So you just saved his time, right?
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
I'm glad that we just got straight to the point right there, because for me, like, I know I buy houses in multiple different ways. And if I can't buy them, I know I have a large network of people that can usually pay more than me in different situations. I'm just curious. Most people that want to sell their home for retail or as much as they can get, which everybody should, right? You should get as much as you can for your property. They usually list it. So is that an option for you, of listing it with a local agent in the area and trying to sell it on the MLS?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have an agent. If I was going to sell it through an agent, I actually was going to surprise the guy that sold me the house and get the listing.
Well,
So I'm not, his name is John O'Connell.
okay.
So that's listed with.
Okay. So you already kind of have that lined out. So if you do list it, you'd go that route, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's almost like a thank you.
Yeah, of course. Now, so obviously, if I was like, well, I can list it for you, you'd be like, well, hey, no thanks. I got John.
Yeah, because see, I know him personally.
Of course.
And I can kind of negotiate his fees.
Of course. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why.
You know what? I've actually sold a couple houses. I've sold a lot of houses myself by using a website that it's only $99 to list your house yourself. You don't even need a real estate agent. You can do it all yourself. I didn't know if I can tell you more about it if that's something you're interested in pursuing, but it's saved me and a lot of people I know a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, we can explore that in a little bit. I just wanted to, so cash is probably not going to be something you're open to, because cash is usually those are investors looking to rehab a property or, get it at a discount so they can make a profit. Right. So, what other options have you explored other than, well, we already can say cash is probably out. Have you explored any other options to sell it other than listing in cash?
No, I'm not interested in financing for someone.
Okay.
Just, what I think, sometimes when people are ready to sell houses, the mortgage is $500.
Right.
Of course, I want to get rid of it because I'm tired of being a landlord.
Yeah.
And I want to do some things. I got some things going on. My husband's health is not good,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to help, get involved with my nephew in Vegas in a condo. So
Right.
there's some things that I want to do, but none of those are so pressing that and I'm just gonna say, hey, okay, I'll take that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a fire sale, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what the gentleman I was speaking with today, I just couldn't get over. He kept adding up price per square footage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I thought, well, what never mind. Yeah.
I know what you're saying. He was probably just trying to make a deal out of something that probably just doesn't make sense, at the moment for what you need.
Right. I think in maybe when I said, if you're not even near 100, I haven't even made an offer. Well, let's not testing.
Yeah, of course.
And just always have a great weekend. And I could tell it got a little testy, but it got testy because you insulted me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I may have mentioned, and this is probably why I got a little testy with you, because I mentioned something about, oh yeah, if I get the 127, I'll go ahead and take my husband on a trip to Europe because we want to both station there. And this guy brought it up.
Yeah,
He brought it up to me, and I'm thinking, why are you remembering my personal? I still can go. I can go next week. I probably would have to dig into my savings,
right?
For sure, but it's not. I need to sell my house so I can go.
Yes, yes, and apologies for bringing that up. I didn't, I was just kind of reading the notes. But no, I understand.
I didn't mean it. Since you're saying that, I know you didn't mean it.
Yeah.
He was trying to get me in it.
Yeah.
With that.
Yeah, and
so
in the way that I've done business for a long time, is like it's got to be a win-win scenario all the time. If it's not going to benefit both you and me, it's not worth doing the deal. So, just from what you're telling me, I don't think any cash buyer is going to be able to come in and get you what you need, just because, again, we're business and we got to make the profit. But when you go for an agent, they usually get their commission out of what they can sell it for. And then you have a retail buyer, a family that's going to live in it, and they're going to pay more. That's just how it is,
Right.
Is this a rental? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but is this a rental? Okay, it's a rental. All right.
So I don't know when you guys say rehab, there's nothing to rehab.
Right.
There's one thing they probably could do, or maybe if they really just felt they wanted to, is put new countertops on, because I put I forgot, it's almost like a floor mica type.
Yeah.
Countertop.
I get you.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And most people, like where I'm in my home now, I have quartz. So
yeah,
it's a smaller kitchen.
It's minor
if
things.
If they had to put a new counter cabinet on their countertop, it might run them $1,000. It's like, really? Come on. So,
right.
I just don't get what the whole thing is and why people are advertised to sell for cash when they really don't want to. They want you to give it to them for almost nothing.
Yeah. In order to make money on a flip, unfortunately, like with closing costs and then hold time, the usually people don't pay straight cash. They leverage money or hard money. So there's quite a few I guess fees that accrue over time, and then you sell it and you pay the agent. So you really have to get it at quite a discount to even be profitable. So when they come in and make offers, they're hoping that they run into people who, the house is very distressed and needs a lot of work, so they can work in their fee and be profitable, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it makes sense.
And I don't want to take any more of your time, but I guess the last question I have for you is, you said, so it's a rental, but you're like, hey, if I'm going to sell it, I want to be out of it. I don't want to finance. I don't want to keep this as continue as a rental. Is that correct?
No, I don't want to finance. I'm not in. Look, I don't want to. If I sell it, I'm going to sell it.
Okay.
I don't want to finance anybody else's. I had to finance at 4%.
Gotcha.
If somebody has got some good credit, they should be able to get something close. I can't. I'm not. I don't want to do that. So that's not what I'm interested in either.
Of course, and I understand.
Yeah.
So there is one. Sorry, there's one option that we have. I can run it by you if you're interested. I can tell you about it.
Okay.
So this,
No.
Mhm.
Don't tell me unless if you don't have a cash offer.
no,
Yeah.
it's not it's basically we would partner on the on putting it on the market and flipping it together. Like for example, you said there's a Formica. I'm sure there's a couple other things that can be done. Maybe update the floors just to make it more what's the word, up to date. That's that way.
Hardwood floors.
Okay, hardwood floors. Well, that's usually what we do to try and get sellers the most amount that they can get for the property, and we can make a piece. Is we just kind of partner. We put it on the market, and we put up the money to do a couple of those little repairs so we can get maximum. So you don't have to put any money into it. It's basically we list it for you and in your behalf, and we put in a little bit more money to get a higher price. So it's like a done for you white glove service. It's called the novation, but that's really the only other option that would get you the most we could do.
Oh, you mean that's the only offer that you guys have?
Well,
yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. So, and see, now I just see that I really shouldn't put my information on cash offers because, well, in fact, it's not cash offers.
Wow.
No one except one company has given me an actual cash offer. Everyone has tried to give me alternative ways. Instead of just giving me the cash offer, you ask me what I want, you never counter. And it's kind of, you just feel like, well, why do they put cash offer, top dollar, no low ball? That's exactly what I keep getting.
You just get a bunch of low balls. Well, I do have a cash offer for you, but I'm not here to offend you and offer it to you. And you already said you wouldn't take it less than, 122. So I didn't want to say it. I don't want to offend you.
Okay. In that case, yeah. But
For
I
sure.
appreciate you calling.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you want me to tell you about the website that you can list it yourself if you want for $99?
No, I'm gonna let John do it because John sold me the house.
All right.
And he was just, he's a nice guy.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate. Thank you, Laverne. I appreciate you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Great weekend for you.
Yeah. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Yo. All right, guys. So give me some feedback on that call I just did. It was a couple days ago, but anyway, look, that's not a motivated seller. That's if you guys think that's motivated and you're like, "Nah, you suck. I could have made some out of that deal." Look, that's how I qualify opportunities. I say, "Hey, what options have you looked, explored? Can you list it? Can you keep it? Can you flip it?" And then she's like, "Look, I don't got to sell it. I ain't got to sell this house unless I want to. Okay, I'm just trying to make as much as I can." And everything that they've asked me in the past to see if I'm motivated, they're like, "Don't even bring that up." That's basically what she was saying. Because initially, her motivation was like her husband was going through some stuff, medical stuff, and she wanted to sell so she could take him, some places. Now she's like, I ain't even trying to sell unless I get this. Now, look, is that someone who I would follow up with? Yeah, I'm gonna follow up with her, see if she actually even lists it with John. But that's not someone that I'm gonna be able to get and have like a solid conversation because she's not gonna either you got to take a cash offer, right? Or it's got to be her house is worth way less than 122. It's her house ARV is like 130, so it needs to be like at 80. 80, 70. I don't care if the house is in great condition. If you're going to buy it for cash, you have all those costs and all that stuff. So to acquire, to resell, you need to get it for less. If we're going to do a novation, that would make sense, right? But I could have done a better job at pitching it, right? But she's already saying, hey, if I'm going to list, I'm going to go with John. Okay, so I'm not really pushing on that too much. And she's already like, hey, look, it's $500 a month. It's not killing me. I don't want to do creative. I want to be out of it if I'm going to sell it. So to me, that's a retail seller. But thanks to the questions that I'm able to ask through practice, I feel in my heart and I can kind of feel like this is not someone that I normally would do a deal with. She's not the motivation, the timeline, the need. It's not there. Okay. So anyway, hope you guys, that was helpful to see a call of someone. I did my best. That's how I do calls. Okay. And, obviously it takes practice and getting better every day, but you got to have these repetitions. You got to have these calls so you can get better. So anyway, everybody, this call has been on how to make money wholesaling real estate, and you have to be able to identify and qualify opportunities so you're not wasting time with sellers that are never going to sell to you or you're never going to be able to work with. It is so important. Again, like I told you when I first started, I wasted a year following up with this grandma. If I would have just said, hey, are you the decision maker? Is there someone else I can talk to, like, that's going to help you make the decision? Like, if I would have just asked that, it would have, a year later when her granddaughter or whatever got on the phone, I was like, quit talking to my grandma. Like, it would have saved me a lot of time. But again, I didn't know. I didn't know how to have the right conversations to qualify people. There's steps to selling your home, right? It's not like you just immediately hop on the phone, unless they've been beat up by 100 other wholesalers or investors, and you can just be like, yeah, I can do that price. Yeah, let's sign right now. But other than that, you got to take them through a solid process. So anyway, hope that helps everybody. This has been the Painless Flipping Secrets Call. I'm here to help you guys succeed. If you guys want to learn more about how we can work with you and help you negotiate your own deals, or if you want to know how we can help you comp your deals, like, we have a service where we want to help you through the process. So if you're taking action, definitely check out the Painless Flipping Academy at painlessflipping.com. That's what our academy is for. It's obviously, we teach you, we show you guys like the best way to go about it, like we're showing right now, but it's more implementation based, where it's like, hey, you need help negotiating, comping, knowing if that deal's a deal. That was what I struggled with in the very beginning. I was like, man, I feel like this is something, but I don't know how to make it a deal. I need some advice. I need someone to look at it. I need some, someone to give me kind of some options here of what to offer. That comes with time and knowing what to do, how to squeeze out as many deals as you can from the amount of leads that you get. But yeah, if there's no questions right now, coming from the live, I got this guy, Gabe Ortega. He's laughing. He probably thinks when I was on my call, he probably laughed because I don't know, maybe he's having a good time. Maybe he's like, you suck at negotiating. Who knows? But anyway, hope this helps. And again, my greatest desire is for you guys to do more deals. That's why we're all in this. We're not in this just to, have fun. Like, we can go have fun doing something else, right? This is a job. We're trying to help people, and we're looking for these win-win scenarios. So hope that helps everybody. And check it out, painlessflipping.com. Check out Batch Leads. Peace out, everybody.